And breathe, Laurie. We win 2-1. That was not like the 7 before. And I think we all knew as fans that game was coming. You're not going to 5-6-0 win your way to the title. Brentford with a depleted back four, let's say. We thought, okay, there's an opportunity here, but they fought hard. They were resilient. Arsenal had to show some resilience as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We were the flat track bullies for the last 4 or 5 weeks, been smoking teams, which is great. But today we had to win by another means. And I've got to be honest, I always was confident that we would win, although it was kind of nervy.
Even late in the game?
Oh, yeah, I was. I was confident that we would win, yeah, I was. I mean, let's be honest. In the first half, we got the goal. And whilst we weren't at our fluent best, it did look like we was fairly in control. And then, of course, Ramsdale had his moment. And then that brought them into the game. And then you start thinking to yourself, oh, what's going on here? But I never thought we lost control of the game. So, yeah, at the end of the day, a win is a win is a win. We're top of the table. And, you know, things are looking good.
We can't go to the top of the table without talking about that. But I think that's a bigger picture discussion for the end of this fan cam. Let's talk about why we're top. And it's Kai Havertz's moment at the end. Ben White, of course, two assists from right back, 2 very different crosses, both as effective as the other. Kai Havertz again with another big goal.
Yeah, that's 4 in 4 now for Kai Havertz, and he's becoming a bit of a match winner for us. And fair play to him, because as we all know by now, he's had moments when he's not been that good. He's been a bit of a polarising figure at the club. So I'm pleased for him. He's done well. He's got the winner today. I think he got the winner against Brentford in the corresponding game, didn't he? So listen, man, he seems to like playing against Brentford. We'll take it. But in terms of the man of the match today, I was impressed with Ben White.
Yeah.
And I thought that the 2 assists were really good. His overall play was good. And so, yeah, I'm going to give Ben White his flowers on this one.
Yeah, he was brilliant. And 2 different crosses. You know, one, the ball's rolled back to him and he puts his foot on it and picks out Declan Rice. I think the other one is an overlap, and it's let me hit an area that one of my players can attack, and Havertz does really well on it. But Ben White is coming into his best form and has been in 2024 even a level above what we saw last season from Ben White. It felt like he was having a bit of a slow start to the season, perhaps playing through an injury. But, you know, he, like many of the other players, looked transformed since that Dubai trip.
Yeah, absolutely. In a title, in a race for the title like this, your big players have got to stand up, right? And then you've got to have your players that not necessarily immediately come to mind, but they've got to do their jobs as well. And he's one of those guys. In recent weeks, he's been really good. Perhaps not been getting as much credit as he should get, which is one of the reasons why I'm going for him for man of the match today. Some people are probably going to go Havertz because he was the match winner in a fairly tight game. I thought Gabriel was also good today.
I wanted to mention the centre-backs. Saliba and Gabriel were so aggressive on Ivan Toney, weren't they? And Declan Rice, with loads of grounds covered, of course, got the goal as well. Just those centre-backs, for me, they are such a platform for us to play, because you know you can step up 5-10 yards. When you've got those two just going, I will deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so, you know, it was one of those games where, although we weren't at our fluent best, and although, you know, I mean, we wasn't outstanding, I never lost faith in the team. I must admit, I was on the couch there with you guys, and whilst some of the comments would appear a bit nervy, and you're waiting for this goal to come and it's not quite there, you're thinking, oh God, you know, I mean, 10 minutes to go for it, whatever it is. But I was always confident that we would win. But what I would say is that today, it's interesting that Ramsdale got the nod, obviously because Raya wasn't able to play today because of the loan status. But he becomes a talking point. And I think today you saw the 2 sides of Ramsdale, didn't you?
Yeah.
You saw that mercurialism where he goes and makes that mistake. But in the second half, there was a couple of really good saves, notably the shot from Toney. I mean, that whole passage of play was outstanding, because you've got to give Toney credit. The outside of the foot, that shot was, if that goes in, that's got to be potentially one of the goals of the season. But Ramsdale had to go back, tip the ball over, outstanding. So, you know, I mean, that was one of my favourite moments of the game, that was. So, yeah, big up to Ramsdale.
No, and he made some big saves after the error, which you've mentioned. How do we... You never know, right? I mean, you know, a small hamstring injury for Raya, and suddenly Ramsdale's back in for a few games. But was this his last game? And if it was it a 90 that just totally summed up Aaron Ramsdale?
He will do things that you think, what were you doing? Like, with the goal that they scored, he had ample time to get rid of that ball. That was clearly his mistake, yeah? So you can't offer no excuses for that. That was poor on his part, and he cost us. Like I said, I thought we were fairly comfortable up until we give that away. It's a different game after that. We had to sort of recollect and go again. We managed to get the win. But like I said, during the course of that second half, there was a couple of saves. There was another one where he made a really good save. I forget who it was from, actually.
Well, one of their centre-backs, I think, got their head on it.
Yeah, there was a couple, but there's two saves in particular that he made today. Like I said, the one from Tony with the outside of the foot, and then there was another one. You think, wow, that's kept us in the game. So that is Ramsdale summed up. And I hope it's not his last game. But if it's his last game, he certainly made his impression on Arsenal football.
It's interesting, but do I hope it's his last game? I mean, sort of, because I want whoever our number one is to be available. But I sort of get what you mean. I mean,
you never know in football.
I'd love for us to win the league with 5 games to go and then give Ramsdale the last couple of games, but that's not going to happen. Okay, we're top of the league. Can we stay there, Laurie?
We can, yeah. I mean, like I said, today wasn't our best performance, but we got the win. Psychologically, it's a good thing for us to go top before Liverpool and City play. So, we will be sitting there watching that game in anticipation. And if they slip up or, it's a draw or whatever, it's great for us.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you think we will?
We'll what?
Win it.
Or the title?
Yeah.
We're definitely in it. We're definitely 100% in it. I've been saying for a few weeks now, I do actually think this title race will go down to the last week of the season. I think the 3 teams involved are that good.
And the subs, Laurie. Gabby Jesus, I thought it was a really good cameo from him. Reece Nelson put himself about as well, don't get me wrong. Obviously, we didn't see really enough of Partey, so we can't really say much there. But Gabby Jesus in particular, because I think people saw him come on against Sheffield United, him, Partey, and I was like, these players are back. And then it's like, well, they didn't look great. But that was really good from Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I'm going to say this. I thought Reece looked really sharp when he came on. Had a couple of good runs, held the ball up well, looked lively. I thought, he played his part. And that's what you want from the subs, to come on and to make a contribution. And that's what both him and Jesus did. As you said, with Partey, very limited. I think it was his first touch, he put the ball out. We was looking at each other thinking, I hope we're not going to see him give the ball away in a silly place and maybe it lead to something more serious. But it's not. I'm always saying that it's good for the players in the team to get rotated. We saw a little bit of that today. And we've got to keep all the players up to speed. In tune and ready when called upon to do their jobs.
And you can understand a little bit more, but Smith Rowe not getting on the pitch, which, again, I guess because he was trying to go with what he felt was best to win to win the game. We haven't seen Smith Rowe. It's not like we were 5-0 up, but just, again, him, Vieira not called upon. Vieira was in the week. So it's interesting that Nelson got the nod first.
I can see why he would have brought on Nelson, a bit more dynamic, probably better close control. So I can see why he made that move. Okay. But listen, there are 10 games left now, so
everyone
these
plays
guys,
their part.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Basically, the players on the bench, they will hopefully get their opportunities, and when they do, we hope they will come in and make the right impact.